how do I better manage my time? I love this one. People come to me so often wondering, how do I squeeze more out of the time that I've been given every day, every week, every month, every year? How do I somehow secretively, get more time in the day? And I think it's hilarious, as if we can actually manage something that doesn't really exist. If you tell me, how can I manage my pantry or my closet or my funds in my bank account, there's something that's actually there. Time is something that we've created. It's this idea. We look at the sun coming up in the morning, we look at it rise in the evening, we put 24 of these hours into that day, and we take those days, and it's like we have no control over it. Unless you can stop the sun or slow it down or speed it up, we can't manage time. Time is not something that is tangible, that exists. It's not Newtonian. Now, this idea I learned from Gay Hendricks, who wrote the book The Big Leap. And he teaches the difference between Newtonian time, like Newtonian physics. We can tangibly, physically handle what's in the universe, and that's what Newtonian physics is all about. Time is not something physical in nature. There's no matter to it. It doesn't exist. It's not tangible. And he teaches that there's what's called Einstein time, that time is relative. Time is this idea that we've created in our minds, and we have as much or as little of it as we desire, and that we only get to manage ourselves within the time that we've created. This approach to time management is phenomenal. One of my great mentors who has passed on was Spencer Kimball, and he said that there is no such thing as time management, only self-management. And that's awesome. I can manage how I show up, what I do in the time that I have created for myself. And it's fascinating, actually, that all work expands to fill the time allowed. When you're going on vacation, isn't it crazy how much you can get done the night before you leave? When you're doing something fun on the weekend, isn't it incredible that you can get the whole house cleaned in a day rather than 2 days when you have nothing to do in the weekend? All work expands to fill the time allowed. We are also expanding within the time that we allow. Whatever it is that you desire to experience in your life, you are going to set deadlines for by when you want to experience that. Some people will never experience anything because they don't believe that they can. They're not able to manage themselves to the expectations of what could be possible for their life. And so they die with their music still in them, we say. Now, that is so sad to me. And if I am bursting your bubble, telling you today that you can't manage your time, there's no such thing as time management, and you're not going to get any more of it or less of it, and you can't actually change what those outcomes are, then I am sorry. Not sorry, because you can manage yourself. And you can wake up every day when you choose to and say, I have all the time in the world today to accomplish what matters most. Knowing that when the day is done, you've given top priority to yourself for your self-care, to those you love to care for them, to what you're creating, whether that's a business or a family or a piece of work, a piece of art. I have all the time to accomplish everything that I truly desire today. And then when you go to bed at the end of the day, you can look back and you can say, I did everything that I chose to do. And I am fulfilled. Was it exactly how I had anticipated? And did I get every result that I had imagined in my mind? Well, no. That's never how it goes. But you got everything that you wanted because you were empowered by the choice that you have within time. And that's the secret, is being empowered with your choice, free to choose what you want to do with the time that you've created. Now, if you want to wake up earlier, wake up earlier. If you want to go to bed later, go to bed later. If you don't want to, then don't. That's the time that you have every day. And you get to decide what to make of it. Certainly, there are some tips and tools and strategies on how to time block and different calendaring methods that we can put into place. And I'm happy to teach those to you. In fact, I share some of them in my book, Strength of the Oak, Strength of the Willow. And feel free to use those tools to help manage yourself within time. When you're able to do that, you really are free. And I think of someone that is getting ready to jump off of a bridge. Now, before you get too freaked out, they're jumping off of a bridge connected to a bungee cord. And not just any bungee cord like my dad uses to strap things on to the back of a truck, but like real, bungee jumping, like the safe ones. When you're getting ready to jump off of that bridge, you never say, oh my gosh, I feel so restricted and restrained by these straps. Those things protect you. If you want to jump again, you got to strap yourself in. And I think when it comes to self-discipline, as we call it, you have to recognize that it's okay to strap yourself in, that you're not losing freedom. You're gaining it because you get to jump again. You have the privilege to climb back up and do this all over again. And when we are disciplined and we're managing ourselves in a way that we desire, then we get to make more choices. People that don't have that self-discipline, that can't manage themselves, are bound to things. They are losing their ability to choose because they have to have another drink, right? They have to pay off the debt. They have lost that freedom because they weren't able to manage themselves within the time they've been given. So you want more time? Manage yourself better. Bring greater self-discipline. Get clarity on what it is you do and do not want and when you want it. And then structure your day in a way that feels like this isn't work. This is me creating. This is playing like kids. Kids are phenomenal. I happen to have 7 of them, and I love watching them play because their play is actually their work. It's where they're creating and they're learning and their minds are expanding and the possibilities are just, their world is just, it's exploding for what they can do. And they're never keeping track of time. It's not important to them. They're being themselves, doing something that they love and enjoy without any concerns or expectations from the outside world. And when your work and your play can come into alignment like a child does, then you'll have all the time in the world that you need. And if you need to set your play down to do some other things, then you can always come back to it. So, how do I better manage my time? It's with my choices, how I choose to manage myself. I wake up every day, I drink an entire water bottle full of water with some apple cider vinegar. I do my meditation. I give prayers of gratitude. I spend time in Holy Writ. And then I write down what I'm grateful for from the day before and what I want for that day and for future days to come. This is how I manage myself. I get clarity on how things went yesterday and what I'm grateful for that I'm bringing to today, and then I choose what it is that I desire and want for that day and for the future. Then I do my workout or my exercise or ride my mountain bike, whatever it is I'm doing that day, and then I go about what I have created mentally before I physically start doing all the work stuff. And this has been a pattern that has served me and serves many of my clients as they create what they desire most. It's all relative. Einstein time, as Gay Hendricks calls it. You get to choose. And by the way, if time is relative and you get to create what you want, then you're the creator. And time is being created by you. And you tell me, which serves which? Is it the creator that serves the creation, or is it the creation that serves the creator? My understanding is that what we create, we are the master of, and it gets to serve us. So we are not at the beck and call of time, or anyone else's time for that matter. We are not by default doing what others expect of us. We get to choose. We created this time by the choices that we've made, and it serves us, and there's more than enough for you to have whatever it is that you want to have. That's empowering. So, another question that people often bring to me on this subject is, okay, I get this whole concept. I get to choose Einstein time, but what about just the simple demands, the things in life that actually do require time? Well, I'm asking you, do you want those things? Because if you don't want them, you don't have to have them. No one is forcing you to keep those commitments. And if you don't want the results that come with those commitments, then detach yourself. If you feel like it's taking away from your freedom and it's not something that you love or feel passionate about, then you don't have to keep those commitments. We only complain about the things that we actually have control over. You can change the outcome. If you didn't, you wouldn't complain about it. Like gravity. Who's complaining about gravity? Nobody, because we don't actually have control over it. We complain about things when we don't want to take responsibility for the change in outcomes. So, if you don't like the commitments that have been made and the things that are happening because of those commitments, then you can change them. But complaining about it doesn't solve anything. It's just renouncing your responsibility and the ownership that you have for your life. So take ownership. If you've committed to things that you don't want to commit to anymore and that are taking away the time that you desire to be doing other things, then it's okay. You don't have to hold on to that. So I trust that you are feeling empowered, that you are the creator of your time, and that it doesn't need to be managed, and it can't, because it doesn't actually exist. It's a relative thing that you are in charge of. And every minute and every hour of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year is an exact reflection of what you desire most. And if you don't like what you have, and that's a big wake-up call for you, then you can change it. You're exactly where you're at today because this is what you imagined. And if it's not what you think you imagined, then you can change it. You have that power, as we all do. So, take this with you. Manage yourself. Be a creator. And take ownership of everything that shows up for you in your life. And be like a child. Play. Let your work be something you want to do. Something that lights you up inside. That connects you to a source of power that is ultimately fulfilling something greater, a life mission. And if you don't have clarity on what that life mission is, then I invite you to watch my video about purpose, about a life mission. And feel free to share this with someone that might need it, that you want to join you to become a better manager of yourself within time. Subscribe below, and if we can spend some time together, follow the links, and I'd love to do a one-on-one. Have a beautiful day.